All right, Dean. Obviously, the 3-2 zone was very effective last night. Can you just kind of speak to why that is and what you guys executed well in that?
I think it's just a nice change of pace, especially that's such a fast team. They play such a high level. Just got to throw some different things at them and it slowed them down a little bit. And it helps when you have real long athletic defenders that can get in passing lane and stuff like that. And I think that's why it works so well for us. And but it's just a nice change of pace. Kind of slowed them down a little bit. Which is nice.
Officially having the three guys back yesterday, just what kind of boost did that give the squad?
A lot. It gave us a lot of confidence, and also, gave just having everyone back. It was nice, but definitely it was like a mental kind of like, okay, we're back, we're good, ready to rock, and so it was nice. The vibes were high. Everyone was feeling pretty good.
What makes, I guess, the 3-2 particularly effective, I guess, as opposed to a 2-3 in terms of just, is it what you guys do well, or does it particularly blow stuff up in terms of where they want to get things done?
It's just nice to have the front line. Put a bigger guy in the middle of the 3-2 and have him up top and kind of at the point of the defense. It's nice to have like a long defender up there and kind of disrupt. But it was just. It's nice when our whole starting lineup, a bunch of long athletic defenders that can move and willing to sacrifice themselves for the team and everything. So it's nice when you're in a 3-2 and you can hear everybody talking behind you. You know where everything's at, and we're a little more of a vet team now, so no one's afraid to talk. And everyone's communicating well, and I think that's what we do so well in the zone is communicate, get people in the right spots, and when things break down, we scramble well. So overall, I think it's the length and athleticism we have. It kind of threw a little wrench in it for us.
You see Sam chase down Obi and make that play on the ball. Defensively, what is it that people don't see about him, maybe in the box score, or even if they're watching, that makes him so effective on the defensive end?
I think his hustle, he plays so hard, and he's such a physical guy. He's a lot stronger than people give him credit for. He's a lot stronger, and I think people see him, they just try to go right at him. But he's stronger. He stands you up, and he competes at the highest level. And then on top of that, he's like one of the smartest IQ basketball players I know. And so when you put all those together, you just people see him, they're like, oh, this white guy, and then they attack him. But no, he's a great defender. He's strong. He knows the game, and but he knows people are going to attack him. But I think he's an underrated defender for sure.
Sticking with the theme of the 3-2 zone, what makes Evan so good at the top?
He's 7 foot with long arms and moves really well. If you start your offense at the top of the key, it's going to be tough for you because he kind of, and when you get on the sideline, he shuts off half the court. And, so having that length and a person that can do everything he can do on defensive end is it's awesome. But it's crazy when you put him up there. You can't see anything on the court after that. It's awesome.
He said he was in a walking boot after the injury just a couple days ago, really. So how impressive was it the way he was able to move around and the way he was able to play and the impact he made?
It was very impressive. He wants to be out there. He wants to fight and compete with everyone. So I know missing the games was tough for him, but he he's going to come out and compete. But when I saw him moving yesterday, I was like, man, this is impressive. I saw how hard he was working those days in between games, and his rehab and everything. So it was very impressive. But as hard as he works, on the court and in the weight room is the same amount of hard work he puts in. When he gets hurt, gets treatment and rehab. And so I wasn't overly surprised to see him back as soon as he was, because he was in there every day working all the time. And so to see him back out was nice. But you kind of expect him when he works as hard as he does.
You guys haven't shot the ball like you did in the regular season, and Kenny mentioned that last night, that hasn't really gone for you guys yet. How do you get the 3 ball and the shooting numbers back to where they've been?
Just keep shooting, take the right shots, don't force anything, play in the flow of the game, take your open shots with confidence, and it'll come. It's just we just got to get back to it a little bit. We had a rough stretch, but everyone's very confident. Everyone's made shots before, so everyone's gonna come back and get in rhythm. You see a couple going, everything starts opening up a little bit. But yeah, just got to keep playing the right way.
What went into preparing for the 3-2 as opposed to the 2-3? Like, is it something you guys have been working on for a long time, or was it a recent thing?
We put it in. I don't even know when. It wasn't that long ago. It was still the regular season, but we just, we kind of went away from it with 2-3, and it was just like in case of scenario, and just hadn't really, gone over it too much, and so, we came back out. We have so many high IQ players that you kind of just tell us what to do, and they're just gonna figure it out. So it was pretty easy for us.
Shoot.
And
letting him get all the shots.
But yeah, it was one of those things we went over a couple times, and then recently kind of went over it a few more times. But we haven't really dived too deep into the whole situation thing. But people figured it out, scrambling. They know how to run the zone, so it's been pretty simple.
To get that win, I know you guys weren't panicking. It's a 7-game series, but to get that win under your belt, does that help loosen things up, get some confidence back? What does it feel like now that you're back in the series?
Feels about the same. Nobody really, was down or anything about the first 2 games. It sucks we didn't win, but we had high confidence. We never lost any confidence in ourselves through that stretch, and last night's win was good. We can't get happy. Can't get too up on ourselves right now. We got we're still behind. We still know what we got to do, and so the focus has got to be laser focus again. And I think we've done that. Everyone in the locker room was super focused last night after the game. So I think we just got to do the same thing we've been doing. Stay locked in, stay focused, don't get too happy, don't get too high on ourselves, and buy in on the game plan and just play hard.